I don't even hit you guys up. I walk into the living room. I go, yo, boys, I got a job for us.
At this time, I had not even been a producer for a year. Right? And it's like, yo, Reef, we got $45,000 to $55,000 to do this. And I'm like, dude, what the? 5 cities, 11 separate locations, 8 talent, and 7 different cars to rent.
But now are you thinking that you lowballed a little bit?
I'm starting to add stuff up, and I'm like, we're not gonna make any money from this. You were supposed to edit the BTS video and gave me your cut of that.
Right.
Gus was like so tired. He was coming off a run with Loud Luxury. He's like, ooh, I really am not feeling that edit. We're shooting this car, and it's probably important if you're driving a car that your talent has a driver's license.
That was an issue. That was
It's
one of our
valid
issues.
in the United States.
That was one of our issues for sure. There's a lot of power lines out here. Don't hit one. I've seen a lot of people crash. And I tell you that as you're saying, not me, and you're just like ripping it up there.
I get another phone call. Hey, is this the, you're renting my Porsche Taycan tomorrow? Yeah, it's me. Oh, the fender off of it is just destroyed, so I can't rent it to you anymore. Cool, the shoot's in like fucking 8 hours. It's great. We'll figure it out.
Well, people kept trying to drive through our set, and we had to direct traffic to start going the other way.
We had to have Keon start directing traffic.
Keon was in the video.
I think we might have told him, hey, the shot doesn't make any sense.
I don't even think that we told him that it doesn't make sense.
We just nodded and said yes.
I think we just said, yep, you're giving us $1 million.
Right.
And then after the call ended, we were like, I don't think that really makes sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 87 of the 505 podcast. We got a jam-packed one for you.
Jam-packed.
Dude, we got a new Rock in the corner.
Oh, whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
That's not Keon.
Did Keon let his hair grow a little
Yeah,
bit?
he
I
got
love it,
swapped
dude.
out. You got
Grew out a beard?
Yeah,
Did he
holy
get a
shit.
tan
Yeah,
too?
he
What
got
the hell's
tan.
going
Is he
on over
rocking
here?
a phenomenal sweater?
Oh my goodness.
I want to start this off. You know what I'm saying. You guys know what's coming here.
Oh.
Spillage!
A lot of spillage, but it was
Bro,
cool. I liked it.
That was the first time ever that my finger
Yeah,
landed
I saw
on
that.
the
It was
tab.
sick. It was sick.
But it's going to be a 4-2 with that big dent on the side.
generous.
Sorry, team.
I actually would give you some points for the spill. I thought it made it more dramatic and cool. So I've been fucking these up lately.
Come on, give it to me, baby. Beat me.
Oh.
I wasn't that smooth with the putback, but I think that was.
It just wasn't as smooth
It wasn't
as it
that
could have
smooth,
been.
was it?
7-4.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not in the fucking.
That was a really good one. It just
You didn't really open it.
Yeah, you kind of half opened it there.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, 6-2.
Bitch,
Get me in the corner. What do you got for us?
This one already has a dent in
Okay,
it, so
okay.
I'm just putting it out
We'll
there
let that
first.
slide.
Okay, here we go.
Yep.
Oh.
Sounded
wow.
good.
The sound at the second part kind of threw me off.
We
a
should
It was
little bit.
my
probably.
fingernail hitting the back
We should
side.
probably explain who's in the corner.
Yeah, we got Sharif Achexai joining us in the corner.
I have never heard his last name.
I was
before.
about to say that as well.
Really?
I have Sharif Rock in my phone.
That's great. Sharif Achexai in the corner. He's a producer at the ad agency 72 and Sunny.
Boom, big agency, big
Rock.
producer,
Big
dude.
Rock in the
Older.
corner, dude. And he's going to be sitting in here helping us with this show because he was an integral part of this this podcast that we're going to get into in a
Yes.
sec. Dude, the stuff is just going crazy in camera world. So
Yeah.
much stuff.
Oh, Camera World's all over
So
the
much
place.
stuff is going on.
I love Camera World. Dude.
Yeah, they're just bored and they're putting out stuff.
I feel like there's always this explosion where it's like nothing, and then like back in the day it was like nothing, and then R5, R6, A7S3, like all that shit came out, and Komodo all came out in like the same fucking month, and it's nuts, and they're doing it again.
Do you think they talk?
I don't think they talk. I think they leak, dude. I think they got moles in Canon and Sony, and they're talk to each other. Seriously, they're like 24. We're developing a 24 to fucking 105 f2.8, and they're like, no way. And then they fucking tell Sony, and then they start developing it. They get their nerds on it, and then they fucking come
And
out
their
with it.
nerds battle.
And the same week, they fucking come out with both of them, so no one gets ahead.
What I think is so crazy is we're getting to a point where you feel like, what else can they do to make these cameras and lenses better? And then they drop what they drop, and you're like, oh
That's
shit.
how. It seems like, you know how they were always like, we were like, why can't they just make the perfect lens? And they were like, fuck it. We'll get closer. You know, like they probably could have made it. Okay, this is what I'm talking personally about did Sony make one too, or is it just Canon?
Just Canon.
Canon made the 24 to 105 f2.8.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Right? That length, that fucking range of zoom. And that lens has only ever been an f4, right?
Yeah, so I have it.
minimum.
I have the f4. We share.
Yeah.
We share. Oh, whoa, Spinnerooski. We share We share the f4 version of that lens.
Which is, hey, make the aperture a little better.
Yeah, a
make
little
it a
better.
little faster.
Yeah.
And then they did. But I didn't think that they ever would because they were like, we're just never going to give you that.
Yeah, I thought, but because in our book, right, that cannibalizes the 24 to 70.
Which it did.
It did.
They fucked that
No
lens.
one's going to buy the 24. Why would you buy the 24 to 70 when you can get an extra?
I would,
You know,
I would
35 millimeters, which
a lot.
big difference. That's huge. And it's the same aperture. It's
Yeah.
insane.
I'd like to see the lens in person because it's probably a pretty big lens.
It is a little
Yeah.
bigger. It's bigger. Bigger's better, you know?
Yeah, but I hear bigger's not always better.
Yeah, come on,
It can
guys.
be too big.
It's how you use the lens.
Exactly, is what matters the most of
Does
the
it
lens.
telescope? Does it get longer when you use it?
Yeah, this one doesn't.
It doesn't telescope.
No, which is
a shower,
Which is
not a
nice.
grower.
Yeah, it's a full shower. Dude, what you see is what you get.
So, yeah, you just boom, that's it right there, you know?
I got like one of those kit lenses that's like starts as a pancake and you turn the camera on, you know? And you can't even fit it in your fucking tripod anymore.
The 18 to 55.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
This is
have.
a butter one, dude. They
Gets,
also
gets the job done,
But
but
that's
it's
like
like,
F5.
you know,
Dude, what's up with those lenses that are like
It's affordable.
F4 to F5.6? And it's like you zoom in and it gets darker.
Uh-huh.
That was the fucking bane of my existence, dude. They don't got shit like that anymore.
I had one of those too.
Dude, those sucked. You remember that? You're
Anyways.
like, I'm gonna crash zoom.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, it's dark as shit
Yeah,
now.
it's just all confused.
Yeah, that's
Sony wanted to come play though, so they
Yeah.
threw their hat in the ring and they said, "Hey, we're gonna come out with something no one's asking for, the Sony A9 III." You know, because if you want to shoot a hummingbird sipping out of a fucking bird
Right,
feeder, this
right.
is your fucking camera,
Totally.
dude.
It's the hummingbird camera.
It's
for
a
sure.
hummingbird.
Yeah.
That's what I'm referring it as.
So is it? I don't really know.
I
I,
got
don't really
you.
follow
Yeah.
Sony rumors.
Okay, so we got on the Sony A9 III what no one asked for is the global shutter, zero distortion. We got 120 frames per second of blackout-free photos, which no one needs.
So it's like.
Do you need that?
No, it's like a Komodo.
Do you need that? Could you fucking
Sharif?
imagine shooting 100? Dude,
Sharif?
if you shoot a card out on this, you got to get 7 terabytes of cards. Call the card reader
I didn't even
companies.
think about that.
7 terabytes of cards got to happen.
Sharif, would there ever be a job that you're producing, big 72 and sunny spot, that you're like, we need to shoot 120 frames of photos per second?
Well, God forbid you miss something.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, never.
that's what I thought.
Okay, so
But we
Brayden
love
might,
Sony. Hey,
Brayden
we
might
love
need
Sony.
it.
I might need it. Spray and pray. It's got, okay, this is actually a really cool thing. So with video, there's this thing called pre-recording on most cinema cameras. And so when we're shooting basketball, sometimes I'll be editing on the floor. That camera is basically always recording a second before I hit the button.
So
and so on a
nice.
fast break, if you pick it up, it's like, oh, it's already recording for the second. And now with photo, it's bursting for a second before you take the shot. But that just you're a photo guy. What do you think about that? Do you need that?
Do you have problems with bursting before you take the shot?
I just feel like that's silly for photo. Kind of.
I think it's just
Yeah.
nice to have.
Okay, nice to have.
You know what? I'd rather have it than not.
Do you need those extra 120 photos of the fucking ground before you actually pick your camera up and shoot it?
And then
So-
it's like a live photo. Like,
I don't-
There's only one good frame.
I don't shoot sports, but I would assume
He's probably
that
sick for
like
that kind of stuff.
it's sick.
Like events, sports, which is probably what this camera's geared towards.
You're not always going to use it.
No, I think this is for Nat Geo.
The global shutter thing is nuts.
The global shutter thing is nuts.
That's
but-
something you only get in like a red or
But
fucking.
see, but what's crazy though is this isn't, in my opinion, this isn't the photo video like
Mega boom.
Well, no, I just don't think that a hybrid person. Are you gonna buy this fucking camera?
You're
You-
right.
I think you're gonna get the best photo camera, and then you'd have your video person shoot the best video. I don't know.
You almost like you don't like hybrid shit. Never needs to be that good. That's what you're saying.
I agree
You don't need an
completely.
Ari and a Leica in one. No one's ever gonna need that, right?
They're usually the best at one.
Right.
I don't know. How expensive is it?
It's got to be nuts.
Can we get our producer in the corner to look that up?
Sony A. Let's see if you can pull it up faster. What are
Yeah,
we looking at?
A9
He's
III.
already on it.
Oh, Reef's got it.
$4,500.
$4,500.
Honestly, China cheap. What's the A1?
That's the A2 that you're looking at right there.
Oh, let's see price.
Sharif, you messed that
Oh, I
up.
messed up too.
There's no way because the A1's
It's not
gotta
out.
be-
It's not out.
It's gotta be like six-
$699.
Look it up. Look
It's gonna
up.
be like
It's-
6,000.
6K.
6K? Yeah, that's
Isn't
what I
that what
thought.
the A1 is?
Yeah.
Wow. Honestly, that's
better,
kind of some
better
bang for your
better
buck.
bang for your buck to get
I wonder
this.
if it has a flip
Shit,
out screen.
bro. Honestly, real question.
4K 120, 10-bit video, 759-point autofocus with subject recognition.
It's
Everyone
funny
does
that they tell you all this shit and they don't say the fucking screen flips out.
Tell us, dude. Kostas has been bugging about this for
You
months.
text me about it.
Kid's been losing sleep over the screen flipping out.
Looks like a flip out screen.
Wow.
Oh,
dude, your
right?
A1 might have just broke.
I
dude.
think it did break. Oh, it does.
Maybe, I don't
Ooh,
know.
I don't think so. I think it just
Hey,
goes out.
if you know if it flips out or not, leave us
Call
a
us.
message. Or call.
The global shutter is crazy because now that allows no speed limit on a flash. Like, you know how you had to,
yeah.
you have to use on a regular flash, you can't go past a certain shutter speed because then you get the
Right.
lines.
Yep.
Having global shutter allows you to, in theory, the camera shoots 1/80,000 of a second for shutter speed.
Right.
So you could, in theory, shoot a flash photo that fast. Not that you ever would, but the fact that it has the capability is pretty insane.
Yeah, global shutter's not, especially for like even video. I mean, that's like a gold standard for like a cinema camera that this fucking hybrid camera has.
the little hybrid big.
I don't even, you could call that a Dizzler, dude. That's not a pea shooter. I don't know what that is.
I know it's like a Megatron in the smallest body
Yeah.
possible.
My thing is this. I think that like maybe this isn't the right camera to have all those specs, global shutter, whatever, but the fact that now a camera, like a prosumer camera that's not a cinema camera has global shutter means it's coming to everything else.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Big step. Now we just need open gate and it's like, dude, what else?
then we're done, dude.
Yeah, then we're
locked.
done. Then we stop buying stuff.
Dude. And on the topic of huge announcements, if you're a person out there, okay, and you listen to the show, you think you may hang out with us, and maybe you live in LA, you have to live in LA,
Yeah.
and you might want to chef up some clips for the Rocks. DM us your portfolio and say, I want to help with clips. And we'll know, okay? And you're going to email this email, okay? You're going to email 23figgy@gmail.com.
It'll be linked.
It'll be linked down below
FIGGY.
at gmail.com. I will block you if you're sending me weird shit, okay?
Send 'em weird
Don't
shit.
send me weird shit, okay? And send me your portfolio so we can see, what kind of stuff you're making. You don't have to be doing this for years. Like if you're green to this editing stuff, that's totally fine. We want someone creative. We want someone that we can hang out with, and we need someone here in LA. So let us know.
It's a paid position, but also we're offering mentorship, and that's why we want someone in LA because like you're gonna come hang out with us, become a part of the 505 squad, edit our pod clips, help Keon out. Keon's gonna show you like how we do our stuff, and we're just trying to expand our team one rock at a time.
Boom.
I think the mentorship thing is actually pretty underrated. I think we offered Keon that, and I thought, we might be selling him some shit that he might not get. But Keon came to us bad.
Keon couldn't open the damn laptop.
And now he is so good at
Keon
so
is-
many things that
Keon
he's
is-
just like getting job offers. and
He's
shit.
the ace, dude. Keon is the ace.
And all it took was just a little bit of mentorship.
Little
and
TLC.
like a little, what was it, a year or 2 years?
4 years.
4 years? No, how long was it? Like 2 years?
Nah, bro.
Year and a half.
Keon
Year and a half.
Keon was locked in. I feel
He's
like
been locked in for a minute now.
I feel like after 3 months of grind, dude, he did it every
Did
day
you-
for
would you-
hours and hours a day.
Would you say he became locked in on the story we're about to tell? I feel like it was like right
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
he came
dude.
home from that and he
Yeah.
was like,
No, I
shit.
remember because Braden brought him over to my house right before we started doing this, and he's like, Sharif, meet our new intern.
Yeah. And then right after that, he was like, all right, I'm going to figure this out. Cause he did not carry his own weight on what we're about to say,
no,
dude. He was slow. He was just like forgetting shit.
so- Complaining.
Let's get into it. Let's
get into it, dude. So you get a DM from the Instagram gods. Tell me what
Literally the gods.
was going through your mind when you get this message.
well, at first I didn't open it. I low key like left it in the request for a little bit because it kind of seemed a little sketchy.
Scammy.
Whatever. Anyway, so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like I opened it. They were reaching out. They were like, we want to work with you. We like your stuff. We have a potential gig. So I send them my email. I hop on a call with them. And when I tell you it was like quite possibly the best discovery call, I mean, the client was just like, we got this idea for this video. We like your stuff. We got a fat budget. And I'm like,
Which is just so rare.
yeah,
The
so
unicorn.
rare.
Unicorn.
You found a unicorn
I'm like,
in your DMs.
I'm like, you know what? You guys are saying all the right things right now. I think we can.
Yeah.
I think we can work together.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So, anyways, what do I do? Is I hit up, or I don't even hit you guys up. I walk in the living room. I go, yo, boys.
Yeah.
I got a job for us.
And then we were like,
yeah.
yep, lock it in.
Because I knew that it was beyond what only I could do. And at this point, this was years ago. So it was like, I had never really worked on this was like the first thing really that we all worked on together that was like a big budget production. And so we kind of thought we knew what we were doing and we kind of figured it out like along the way. But I brought you guys on. You guys kind of really took the lead on the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think you, Braden, kind of just took like the producer, you and Sharif, you brought on big boy Sharif over there to just kind of like fucking actually figure out, because it's logistically it was a nightmare.
Oh my God.
And you guys tackled that. I got to tackle some like creative treatments and stuff, which was nice. Way more chill than what the fuck you guys did.
I mean, it was really what really people don't see when you go to a job or you do something like this is there's months of nights that are going into trying to make the thing possible. And like, once we get into the actual budget breakdown, we're going to tell you guys numbers. So if you're wondering, you know, it's not going to be vague, it's going to be direct and to the point. But me and Reef were working for like 10 cents an hour.
Yeah.
You
guys were grinding.
At the end of this thing, because we underestimated it so much of how many different people that would need to help on something like this, how much money all of this stuff costs, and just doing something out of state.
Multiple states.
Multiple states.
Also, how much or why it's important to incorporate pre-production into your costs, because you guys were working so hard and so many hours, like before we even started shooting.
Totally. And they had came to you with this number. We actually, no, we got on the phone and I was banking in the back of I was the guy who said the price originally. And when they were telling me this on the phone, you're ballparking it to them, right? So they say, they're telling you, we want to do it in this state. We want to do this. Like, okay, we need some cars. And I'm like, okay, well, I feel like, and I had never thrown, I'd thrown out a number this high before, but I was like, let's just see if this is in the range. It said they have a big budget. Let's see if this makes sense for them. It was like, this could be anywhere from like 40 to like 50, 55,000. Right. And I just sat. They're like, that's great. I'm like, okay. Okay, let's figure out how we actually now make this movie like happen. You know,
at this point, you're throwing out that number. They say, yes, I'm ready to retire.
Ghost is ready to retire. He thinks that's retirement
it's
money.
$1 million in my mind.
My flash in my head is, how the fuck are we gonna pull this shit off now that we actually are like, we kind of got to do it, because like you can't say no to that. But it was logistically insane.
I knew immediately to call Reef though, because I was
the right
like,
choice.
This is someone that's going to be our backbone in this situation. Keep all of our ADHD creative
one
brains.
person that doesn't have ADHD would be helpful.
Well, that's just not the case.
One person one person that has it, but is more locked in
that's
on
maybe
numbers,
medicated or something.
Yeah, exactly, numbers and stuff. And
I also I really didn't know what a producer even actually did, and then
found out
really quick that like it's really nice to have a producer because they handle all the logistics.
Well, you know what wasn't really nice? Now I'm a very well established 72 and Sunny producer that works on the NFL.
Get your plug in. Get your plug in.
Yeah. I know. I have not a Grammy, Emmy. Don't worry about it.
It's coming soon. What's the four? The EGOT or
EGOT?
The EGOT.
Yeah, you get your Tony. Yeah, your Oscar.
We're going for
But anyways,
it one day.
keep going.
So at this time, I had not even been a producer for a year. And Braden's like, yo, Reef, we got $45,000 to $55,000 to do this. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Are you serious? Okay. Well, that's like a good amount of money. Let me like start breaking down costs. And I'd only looked at a handful of budgets before and like breakdowns of everything. And so I'm just like, okay, we need, what was it? 5 cities, 11 separate locations, 8 talent, and 7 different cars to rent. So
Jesus Christ.
So now are you thinking that you lowballed a little bit?
Oh, dude, I realized immediately once I started going to these moonlighting sessions at Reef's house, and I'm starting to add stuff up, and I'm like, oh shit, like we're not gonna make really any money from this. Like if you really break down the days, how much manpower it comes into, I'm like, this is really an experience shoot. And I remember coming back to you guys telling you what you're gonna make, and you're like, Jason's like, that's a lot less than I thought we were gonna make, and I'm like, dude, I know, but I'm taking we're all taking less bread, and we're just gonna do this for the experience, and I wouldn't have traded the experience and the stories for anything in the world.
Right, and we can say that the number was higher than that, right? It ended up being around 70?
Yeah.
Because shit got expensive, dude,
Yeah.
and there were add-ons and shit, and you can tell them about the pitching of that.
No, and so I remember once I realized that it was going to be more money, we had to, this is a phone call that you just have to have. You can't just send them an invoice and say, oh, it just magically hopped up a shit ton more money.
Right.
So, you have to call them and say, hey, listen, this is why it's going to be more money, and these cars are really expensive. Renting cars in every city, you have to get insurance.
Especially not cheap cars.
Expensive cars, Porsches.
I got to drive a Porsche Taycan around LA for like 3 days. It fucking rocks.
And the same cars, mind you, in various different cities. It had to be the same exact model, make, and color.
Which they weren't. Because it just didn't happen for us.
No, and so once you really get down to the nitty gritty of it, right? You got meals, you got permit costs, you have your crew that's actually going to help you. You have food for your crew that is way more expensive than $15 per meal for each person on the crew.
Dude, we were trying to
make costs work, dude.
Yeah.
We're trying to make costs work. Dude. Ubers, when we landed in a state and we get to Florida, bro, and I'm like, oh, let me get a lift. It's like a 17-hour lift to the Airbnb, bro. It was $400 for the Ubers from there and back to the airport.
That's how expensive that was?
Yeah, because, and get this, we had to get an Uber Black because the XLs, there was no XLs in the area. Of course, they were all busy.
Oh, because you took that. I Ubered to a different place so I could pick up the car.
Yes. We had, and so all the gear that we had was tens of thousands of dollars worth of gear that we were traveling with. And you're also banking on the gear showing up in the city. You're banking on it showing up in the city.
You're definitely banking on that.
You're banking on it showing up. You put locks on the stuff, we had air tags and the stuff, and the stuff felt like it was going to be late. And so Sharif, what were all these cities? So we had LA.
We had LA, Austin,
Austin.
Boca Raton, Florida.
Yep.
Chicago, and San Francisco.
I have the realization that 50 is just not going to cut it.
Right.
50 is not going to cut it at all. We're going to literally lose tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to have to call the people that work at this company. I'm like, hey, listen, I think I need an extra 15. And they're like, for what? And I'm like, oh, for these cars are going to be really expensive. The flights are super expensive. And mind you, we have looked at all of this information for the flights weeks prior to when they sign the damn statement of work. And so these flights have actually literally doubled for each person. And so I'm like, oh my God, okay, whatever.
It's the first time Closest didn't fly first class.
He was flying in the back and shit, and it was all confusing for him, and he was lost in the airport.
I didn't understand that. Like, I didn't understand why.
If you say no,
I didn't understand why, like, my seat didn't recline all the way back.
Right.
I didn't. My back was hurting that
week.
I mean,
it was, dude. His back was hurting. Took a nap.
I want you pull up the budget breakdown for me, Reef. I want you to talk me through what was really going on here with our numbers and kind of where we came to these end spots.
After we pivoted to get 65 instead of the 50. We had to break everything down backwards. Starting with travel and stay, had to do a lot of research on flights to Austin, Chicago, Boca Raton, and San Francisco. And then stay, like hotels in each of them, and had to figure out how much money, ballparking, how much that would cost. And then food every day, which I definitely undershot, as we know. And then the equipment that we would need to rent. And that was really just like lighting, and we used a couple of stabilizers and gimbals, but for the most part, we had a lot of the equipment. So that was like where we were able to create a little bit of a pad, in which if you're ever producing anything, make sure you have a fucking pad.
Nice.
Because something will go wrong.
Everything.
I mean, this time everything went wrong,
like
but something will
Titan
go
tubes,
wrong.
a little too heavy to check, so they cost $1,000 to fucking.
Oh
my
dude.
God.
Yeah,
It's like 500, right?
Everything that you could think of that would cost more money costs more money.
Yep.
Give the actual numbers.
So give me the numbers.
Yeah, give me the
for
numbers
everything.
for the equipment budget, the travel and stay,
like top
the
to
post.
bottom.
Yeah,
Just read 'em off.
Go from top. Talent crew. What did you start out at?
Okay, talent and crew, I started out as $21,500 for 7 people. And that's 2 PAs, photographer, DP, director, in which we all kind of co-directed together, the producer, and our talent. And mind you, we had 8 talent.
Yeah, bro.
I had $3,000 for 8 people.
We'll get into how we made that work, which we fucking did.
Yeah, which we did, baby.
Yeah.
We made it work, but we had
we'll
severely
talk about it
undershot the
later.
talent budget of $3,000.
Okay, we'll keep going down. Then equipment, $8,750 for rentals. And obviously, you still own equipment, but people have to rent that from you. Like, just because you have it doesn't mean that you don't need to charge for it. That's industry standard, so you should be charging for your client to rent the equipment, because if you didn't have it, they would need to rent it from somewhere else. And then travel and stay was around $13,300, in which also undershot immensely. As Braden mentioned, every flight doubled, and hotels are expensive for what? 4 of you guys traveling.
Looking at this, 4750 for how many people were we flying with? 5 people? 6 people?
No,
4 people.
4 people.
It was you 3 and Keon.
Yeah.
Can I see this?
4 people, and then thinking about having to do this in like LA and then 4 other cities. That's like $1,000.
us a milli,
We
bro.
should have been 10K on the travel and stay. Now that we're talking about it back, easily 150 grand. I could have spent it like nobody's business.
You could have spent it and still like not made a lot of money.
No,
You know what I
absolutely
mean?
not. No,
Like,
absolutely
yeah.
not. If you did this, the permits alone for something like this, $70,000 without a doubt in my brain.
Right.
Without a doubt, which we got all those permits for.
Totally did. You got them all locked and
Yep.
loaded, dude.
And then post-production, Reef.
Post-production, we were at $14,000. So
And break that down.
yeah, we had
Which is also super low. I've now learned that usually the post budget should match the
production
the, like
budget.
the
Really?
actual shoot day budgets. Yeah, because it's longer. It goes on
Yeah,
for so
it's
fucking
so long, so many
And you need
revisions.
like experts too.
Yeah, the best people at
That
that
is
thing.
so low.
So
it's extremely low. But I also would say it's still technically less for post just because you have less people. Like
Right.
there's so many people on set.
Totally.
So you're like, I'm working with budgets of like $200,000 for post, or not for post, for production for a day, 350 for a day. And then we paid $90K for the entire edit.
Oh wow. I only tell companies that when I'm doing post.
But
typically, this
just
is
so you know.
typically this is the same price for post and pro.
yeah.
But that's just edit too.
Yeah.
Like color costs money,
That's what I'm
VFX
saying.
costs
Yeah.
money. So all
post.
post-production,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'd say it has to even out.
Be similar. This is
Yeah.
what I tell people. Again, I don't even know if that's true.
And also with post, and so when I was trying to get this number from 50 to 65, I added deliverables because it's adding more work for us, adding more things that they'd say, hey, would you like this stuff? And they're like,
Right.
yeah, absolutely, that works. And so that's also how we were able to add more money into the budget.
which we had. So we had $2,000 for a colorist.
Adam fucking Simmons of all people
Dude,
calling me.
he's
during
probably
the
trying to
pod.
comment on the pod live.
Yeah,
So-
unbelievable.
So we had $2,000 for the colorist, $4,000 for the long form video, a 60-second cut down, which was $1,000, a 30-second and 2 15-second cut downs, which was $2,500, 40 retouched images at $2,500, and a BTS video at $2,000. And I think the BTS video was just for us.
No. I edited it for them.
Yeah,
I edited the
oh.
BTS.
Yeah, they love that.
You were supposed to edit the BTS video and gave me your cut of that.
Right. And my
Oh, yeah,
I
I
remember
did.
that. And my
Hey, do you want some more money?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what he said. Ghost was like so tired. He was coming off a run with Loud Luxury. And he's like, ooh, I really am not feeling that
Right.
edit today.
The post-production budget is low, mind you. It was just Chef Fig and
It was
I
rock and pop.
just fucking. I'm the first 4 line items.
Yeah. The first one.
Did not get paid as such, but I was the first 4.
Well, and
We all had to make it work.
how did I come to these numbers?
We made them up.
Pulled them out of my ass. 100%.
And then we have miscellaneous at
They
the
were-
bottom.
They ended up being kind of accurate, honestly.
So wait, at the bottom we have the car rentals, and then we have
Props.
props and $1,000 of just miscellaneous. So miscellaneous total was about $6,000.
And so that gave us to a grand total of $63,500. And always, if you're ever doing a shoot, there's a production shoot, you always are going to charge 2.8% of insurance. And so that total was $1,778. Total price $65,278, which
Now,
seems like
seems big.
Seems
Yeah.
huge. You're probably sitting there like that.
You retired.
Is your month? It might be your yearly salary.
Mama,
that might
you-
be your year salary.
Mama, you ain't got to work.
No
No
mo.
mo.
No, yeah. But you don't get all that money. In fact, you
no.
get not that much because shit's expensive.
Shit is expensive, and we learned so much.
Okay, so question.
Tell me.
Sharif, and I guess Braden and Chase. How would you go about it now, not working backwards? Like if someone's building out an estimate, how do you really go about that?
Let's ask Sharif as he has like actually gone through this process and now does
Thousands
it
of
for like the biggest
times.
clients.
Yeah. Well, I think you take the script and you kind of break it down. You do a whole script breakdown on what you need for each scene and just component of this production to make it happen. And you can kind of guesstimate in Los Angeles right now, if you're doing like larger commercials, it's around $350,000 a day for production. That's like the standard. So it really depends on the size of the production. But if it's something like this, you got to count hours. Hours is like crucial and day rates, true day rates. How many days are we actually going to be working on this in pre-pro, in pro, and post? So
Pro is production.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're prepping, you typically do like a little bit less than your normal day rate. But then production is where you actually make the big bucks and you put your full day rate in there. So say your day rate is $1,500. For prep and pre-production, probably like $750 a day. So you want to be mindful and like still be supportive of the client because they're paying you to do this work, and it's still good for you. It was still good for us. Like, we got some fun experience and some good shots on our reels, but you need to get paid for the amount of hours you're putting in. And we were putting in a lot of hours.
We put in so many hours to this thing, dude. And when you got to think about it, you can give them an estimate exactly like what I did on the phone. You're giving them a ballpark, and then you're sending them back a line itemized breakdown of what every single thing is going to cost. Whereas we were doing this backwards, who's never worked with something of that size and of that stature. And this is the thing too. I knew for a fact that if I brought all the Avengers together, you, Chase, Kostas, Reef, like Keon, it was going to make a great product. I was never worried about, oh, we're going to bite off more than we can chew. Cause I'm like, we know how to make insane videos. It's more the logistical shit show of what actually transpired that was the biggest learning process of my entire life. More learning than college, more learning than the way that you learn a business or like do production is by doing productions, and you figure it out and you learn different things. You learn problem solving skills. Like, bro, when we go, I had to get flights and all this stuff in these hotel rooms, all this shit. So I had gotten a business American Express Platinum card that I still have. It's metal. If you're here 1 second.
Dude, let's hear it on the table.
Let me just do.
Here, let me get
that
my
wasn't
mic
a very
close.
loud. That wasn't very loud. There it is. You can really hear that.
Sounds kind of cheap.
It's thick.
sounded
It's
like
thick.
plastic.
High limit. So I strategically went out though and got a 0% interest business credit card. And I strategically got one that had no limit. And so this though was my first time ever banking with American Express. Chase, I have like 100K limits on my cards with Chase. Sure. They love me. They really like me a lot. I've been with them for a long time. American Express gives you an unlimited limit in quotes. That's not actually an unlimited limit. And so I went and put $10,000 on this card in a day. I got so many missed calls when I got out of the gym from American Express. I didn't have my phone. It was in the locker room. And I get my phone. I'm like, oh my God, like, who's this number? I call them. They're like, you got to pay. Are you going to fraud this account? Are you going to default it? They were freaking out. I'm like, listen, I was like, if you fucking call me one more time, I'm going to pay all this off. I literally got 10 grand on my fucking checking, paid it all off. I was like, if you ever call me again, I'm not going to bank with you guys. And they're like, understood. Then they gave my limit even higher. They gave it to like 150,000.
They loved it.
They loved it. They loved me paying it off. And so that then allowed us to put all of this stuff on that card because I knew we were going to get paid off in thirds. So you get paid off a quarter.
Those are quarters, not thirds.
Yep.
Fuck, dude. This is why I'm not the numbers guy. I'm the producer guy. I'm the video guy. I make this
Which
stuff.
you got it out.
Yeah,
Land the plane.
He's all the guys.
I'm all the guys. But I knew that we were going to get paid a third of that money. And so then I was like, okay, we'll pay off these cards. We'll be able to get all our stuff situated. And so having business credit is so important though, because unless you have $20,000 sitting in your checking account, you're not going to empty that for your shoot. You need to be relying on credit, and you need to know obviously that you're getting paid for this stuff.
Which is also important, that step that we did add where we were like, okay, well, you'll pay us a third. Like, what do we do before it started? So we could actually buy fucking shit, like pay off the card once we bought shit.
Exactly.
Then a third once we wrap production, and then another third once we've finished all deliverables.
Chime in real quick. We should have done it that way. We only did it in quarters.
Oh, we did?
We did do it in quarters.
Oh, I thought it was thirds.
We should have done it in thirds, but the standard is you get paid production 75%. 75% to start the job to pay everybody, do all the rentals, everything you need. And then once you wrap the job, it's 25%.
Which we didn't know. We had no idea.
I was a rookie producer.
Had no idea.
Another rookie mistake that we made was not being super clear on how long the video actually was supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
In turn, or like what we realized is that they wanted a 1.5 minute long video. Now, the CEO of the company we're working with had this grandiose vision for this, video in all these different cities. So we made a script that was 5 pages long.
We wrote a whole script. Sharif wrote it.
Crushed that script, by the way.
Crushed it.
Incredible script.
I wrote
Nailed
that
it.
one scene. You know, I wrote that one pickup
You
scene.
did.
That was
That
pretty
pickup scene was great.
We were fucked. We were
that
fucked.
one
We wouldn't
pickup
have
scene.
that if we didn't have that.
We were
Production's
fucked.
done.
The poster thing, dude.
Yeah.
That's important.
Poster.
So typically, 1 page of a script is about a minute long.
Keep in
so
mind.
we have about a 5-minute long
Yeah.
minimum video. The first draft that we presented them was what, like 7-8 minutes?
and it banged,
It was
dude.
sick,
It was
dude.
so sick.
Best shots ever.
Just all of the glory shots.
And so they go, this is great, but we need it to be a minute and a half. And we're like, how the hell are we going to trim
Right.
down?
We'll get into that when we get
Yeah.
into post.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
let's get into what gear did we bring along for this? I think that's interesting.
Yeah, we brought 2 C70s. We
Good
had
cameras.
We had camera. We had 2 Canon C70s. We had 15 to 35, 24 to 105. We had a prime. We had
8?
We had an 8 prime. We had a Ronin. We had a car Ronin rig.
Yeah.
We had all kinds of aperture lights that we had brought.
Stereotubes.
That was terrifying to bring with us.
Yeah.
so heavy,
Dude,
too.
it's so
Yeah, kinda
the
bold in there.
stereotubes were so expensive.
Yeah, if I could make a point, don't travel
Don't.
with the stereotubes because they're too heavy to
Too
check.
heavy.
Just rent them in whatever city you're going to
heavy.
if you fucking need them.
Oh my god, they were literally 90 something pounds, and Keon was tasked with, with bringing those. Those were
Yeah.
his baby.
Yeah, so we brought Keon along, which is funny. But anyways, so the thought behind the 2 cameras, because you really only shoot with 1 camera at
Yeah,
a time, but
yeah.
we had one like built up with a monitor, like a kind of an A-cam kind of vibe
Yes.
on tripods, or like handheld, and then we had another one that was just a dedicated steady cam
Ronin
like on the
God.
Ronin.
Yeah.
It was breaking down. There wasn't heavy shit on the camera, so we could quickly switch between fucking Ronin shots and like A-cam shots, which was really important.
Yeah, and it made everything so much easier. Also, Reef had done such a good job of getting us all of these papers. So the night before, obviously, weeks before, but you're prepping and you're looking at these shots and you have an order of what you want to go by because time creeps up on your ass so fast, dude.
oh my
God.
light,
So fast.
light, dude, you look at it, it's there, and then it's like,
Gone.
where'd the sun go?
Right.
Where'd the sun go? And we were
Especially now with fucking daylight savings.
yeah,
dude.
ridiculous.
Dark
They-
at 5
they need,
p.m.?
They need to change
They
that
do need to
shit.
change that.
They need to change that shit. But we pulled in favors. Every favor we could call in the
Yeah.
whole world. Your buddy Josh.
So let's get into it. So we fly to Austin.
Yeah.
We lug all this heavy shit.
thousands of dollars in bags.
We don't have a lot of money. Remember, we've like somehow just $65,000 is no dollars. So
no,
Kostas
not
and
at this time though. At this time, I was still feeling rich.
but we still like Kostas and I slept on air mattresses at my buddy Josh's house, who had just moved to Austin. Great fucking guy, Josh. You're a fucking legend.
Before, though,
Braden stayed in luxury in his friend Tennant's house.
So, yeah.
had a nice air mattress.
I met you guys there because I literally was coming off of a
Right.
4-day run with Loud Luxury.
a good
I was
call.
so fucking tired that I come to the shoot. You guys are shooting, and I'm like, I can't even keep my eyes open.
That's like what we expected. We knew you would be.
yeah, we
then-
knew you weren't gonna be.
And then
Yeah.
we're in the middle of shooting, and I'm just in the back of a car, passed out.
Yeah, he was
a
getting
nap.
his beauty rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he brought us the client, so we were like, you know what, he
we're-
can take a
you
nap.
can take a nap. But Chase and I are out shooting this car.
So yeah.
We're shooting this car, and it's probably important if you're driving a car that your talent has a driver's license.
That was an issue. That was
That's
one of our
valid
issues.
in the United States.
That was one of our issues for sure.
Yeah.
He also didn't really know how to drive either.
He like
Which
kind of
again-
knew how to drive.
Kind of. I
Kinda.
remember the funniest part was, no, this is great. In our first scene in Austin, we're in a garage, and I go, hey, I need you to just back up and kind of whip out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like watching paint dry, and I said, let me get in that fucking car.
Yeah.
Phew,
Yeah.
phew, right?
Because especially when you film car stuff,
It's got to look
it has to look fast. They do everything faster than you think. Like live, when they shoot that shit, it's like, holy fuck, it's scary. You drive fast, you stop really fast. You stop hard because it takes so long and it looks stupid.
Yeah.
And so we needed him to do that, but he didn't really know how to drive, which was really
Since
hard.
Stunt Driver Fig came to play,
Yep.
Chase went behind the camera,
Yep.
got me whipping out of there.
So we filmed some stuff in that garage.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, I'd like to pause real quick because this just clicked in my brain. We have the most like crucial components for a car commercial, like right here, right now.
We have
the
some
fact that
diversity.
you have so much experience shooting cars is just beyond me. That like, yeah, it just worked out. Like Kostas is friends with Chase, who has all this experience
It
shooting
worked out,
cars.
baby.
It worked out
And
so
then
well.
Braden is a fucking psychotic driver,
Yeah, he's
so
a
it
stunt
just
driver.
worked perfectly.
Braden's a kind of a stunt driver,
I
which
could
is
be a
really
stunt driver,
convenient.
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably could be.
Yeah. And Kostas kind of Ronin God, which you need on
Yeah,
this.
which you needed.
And then we also brought in homie Josh, who rigged his fucking car to
Bless his
have us-
heart.
This was the craziest setup I had ever seen.
Yeah, so homie Josh had like it's called a Tetra.
It's made by DJI.
It's yeah. Well, he had the DJI, the crazy system. He had like a Kessler crane. He had this crazy way to Tilta. No, but then it's called like a Hydra.
Nice, Chase.
So Josh had a Tilta Hydra setup on his car, which like is a crazy arm that sticks to your car basically. And then he had a Ronin setup with his DJI Ronin 4 or 4D, like the actual camera.
The 4D.
And then we could monitor it from the front seat of his car with an iPad looking thing.
Had LiDAR tech.
That could move the fucking thing.
You literally like with your finger, you drew a square around the object and it would lock onto the object and it would like lock on and film it. It was so crazy.
It was perfect.
It never, right.
It wasn't like, it wasn't racking. It was literally locked, dude.
Yeah, it was. So that was huge. So we filmed a lot of car to car stuff, which was really cool.
With our permits.
With all the permits we permitted all of the streets. So that fucking rocked. So we had that kind of going, which gave it some like pace, some really like production value. And then we got all the shots, dude.
We did. We ate in Austin. Austin was
our best.
Dude, then we went and we were still hungry. Went to Terry Black's.
Oh, yeah. Terry Black's Fox.
Got fed more.
Yeah, got fed more.
Did you fly the drone before Terry Black's?
I did.
Oh.
I did fly the drone before Terry Black's.
So we stopped eating right when you put the drone up.
Yeah. So I remember we pull off on this desolate ass road.
Yeah.
And Chase goes, "Yo, Fig, it'd be crazy if you crashed." I'm like, "You're right. That'd be fucking."
I said,
"What did you say? Was that not what you said?"
I said right when we sat down. I said, "Josh just told me. He pulled me aside. He said, there's a lot of power lines out here. Don't hit one. I've seen a lot of people crash." And I tell you that as you're saying, "Not me," and you're just like ripping it up there,
dude. I remember it takes off, and I spot the car, and I'm like, "Go, bird dog, go!" And he's just vroom, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I got the best shot ever!" Bam! Telephone wire, bro. And it hits the car. You've probably seen this clip where I get into Keon's car and I'm like, "I crashed the fucking drone. Yeah. God damn it." And he's like, we try to find it, bro. I'm also petrified of being in these random people's yards in Texas. And all of them say, "Don't tread on me, no trespassing." I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, it's really scary.
This is probably isn't a good idea. And I'm trying to knock on people's front doors. No one's answering. I'm like, what's the deal? Do they have the drone? Anyways, we don't get the drone back. I'm like, it's done. We just blew $1,500. Next day I get a DM. "You BFIGGY? I go, "Yeah."
Because you've written on your drone?
I had this sticker that's on this mic.
Right.
Just the sticker. He goes, "I just looked you up on Instagram." He goes, "I'll ship it to you tomorrow. No problem." I sent him some bread. I was like, "Dude, you're the best guy ever." And he's like, "I don't need it." I'm like,
what a nice person.
The nicest guy ever, dude.
And that's why you have miscellaneous extra costs in the budget.
Totally. And that drone though never caused any damage to anybody else. And that's a very important portion of the story that you need to know. So in Austin, no damages to other people's stuff.
You're not the only one that crashed something though in Austin.
Oh,
remember the last day
with the rental?
So Brandon,
dude,
I scuffed a little bit of the wheel of one of the rental cars.
What shot was it?
It was the very last
dude, we were
shot.
trying to just get like the city pickup shot.
You were just
remember?
You were like,
the car?
Back up. But don't get too close to the curb. And I think I tried to do a little parallel parking action or something, and I scraped
and we were just like, fuck.
The rim.
Oh, it was so loud.
And it's funny because we're running like, okay, we're fucking shooting this shit. We're directing. We're thinking it. We have shot lists. We came prepared, but we're kind of thinking a lot of stuff on the fly. We are also the guys that return rental cars to people and try not to let them see that the fucking wheel is scratched. We were doing so much fucking random shit.
We cleaned it so hard at Josh's house.
Yeah, dude. But we fucking, the guy didn't even notice really.
Oh, I dropped it off.
Yeah, and he didn't care. I was with you. Remember? He's like, this is my brother's.
Yeah, you were with me. And I was like, "Yo, this happened. I'm so I was devastated. He was like $1,000, and he goes, "Oh, we don't give a fuck." I was like,
didn't he say like, "This is my brother's car"?
He's like, "We don't give a fuck," and then he goes, "I'll send a picture to him, but I don't think he cares." And then he sent me back. He goes, "They don't care." I was like, "Okay, rock and roll, brother."
So then we moved on to Florida, right?
Yes. Yeah. Florida
was trickier.
Oh my god!
What happened? We were flying there, and something happened.
Yeah. So I'm in the air. My phone finally gets Wi-Fi, and I see that the weather is updated. It was 7 days of sunny. If you guys know Florida, it's a little bipolar and just flipped, dude. Rain, thunderstorm, hurricane warning. I'm like, oh my god! And we're flying in that night. We had to shoot it in that day. We had to shoot in that 2-day window. That was it. That was all we could. And so then I'm like, okay, well, let's go to the place and let's see, what we can get up to. Also, when I land, I get another phone call. It's like midnight when we land in Florida. I get another phone call. "Hey, is this you're renting my Porsche Taycan tomorrow?" Yeah, it's me. "Oh, the fender off of it is just destroyed, so I can't rent it to you anymore." I'm like, cool, the shoot's in like fucking 8 hours. It's great. We'll figure it out.
And we needed that to match the scenes that we're going to shoot later.
It was super convenient too because there were so many Porsche Taycans in fucking wherever the fuck we're at in Florida. Pensacola.
There were no more, which sucked.
No, and so thankfully, out of like God's grace, our someone we're shooting with, he's like, I have a friend who has a Taycan.
Yeah.
You can have it for like 45 minutes to an hour. And our main talent was Kostas' dad.
Right. So keeping track of the talent budget.
Yeah.
We paid someone in Austin like $500 for her services, which was kind of underpaid. Sorry. But we were nice. We bought her food and stuff.
I mean, it wasn't going out in the world anywhere. This was
just in a parking garage.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
no.
There's no licensing.
Yeah, there's no licensing.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was a fair
that's
rate
fair
for
rate.
like 3 hours, 4
So
hours.
keeping track of our talent budget. Next talent is a successful businessman played by
Greco Garcia.
Garcia. Who did we pay him?
Yeah.
And he gladly took the money.
Sure. Never mind. All
He
right.
didn't want to donate it back to the budget.
yeah, no.
Cheapo.
He's like, here Kostas, here's this. Yeah.
He's like,
We
he's
also
like,
paid-
when's my check hitting, by the way? And how's that video coming along?
Yeah, which is another hotel room, of course, and all that stuff.
Location that we get over to though, this was great. They weren't planning on us being inside the location.
Right.
This was like a little miscommunication between the
Yeah.
company we were working with and the hotel where the stuff was at that we were filming, because they didn't know that we were showing up to shoot, and they were like, you can't shoot
They
here.
did not like us.
They were not digging it, and so we're like, okay, well, it doesn't really make sense if we don't shoot in here. So then we get our couple shots, and it was literally 100-something degrees.
Oh my God, tarps off. We
were
filmed tarps off.
We were
dude.
filming tarps off that day.
Within 5 minutes.
There's an awesome photo of us that I really love that I want to get like
Naked.
framed one day.
Yeah.
It's just us tarps off, like reviewing footage, which
Sweating
is really
our
funny.
balls off,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
Oh my
super
God.
hot.
And they go, so we go to we have to get a shot at a Porsche dealership. And mind you, we're not location scouting this stuff. We don't have friends in these cities. And
We don't have enough money to do
no,
a
we don't
proper
have any
scout.
money to do a scout. So we're like, you know what? Let's Google Earth this shit.
Yeah.
So Reef finds us this Porsche dealership. And so we drive
Pretty close.
pretty close to this Porsche dealership, and we're scouting it out. Just so happens that a Taycan had been sold that day, pretty up close to where we need to be.
Yeah.
So we skedaddle in. Kostas' dad is driving the car, and we get our one shot closer to the end of the lot where Kostas is on the road, and Chase and I are purely just there for morale boost and scouting and making sure we don't get
We're just
arrested.
fucking
we're just
head on swivel.
like birds texting Kostas. Like
Yeah.
I think we called him.
no,
We're
you
in
were
AirPods.
there.
I was there. Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
was there.
there.
I
He
remember
was
you
there.
getting the
He was
shot.
100% there.
I remember I directed you to do this and you do that.
Absolutely.
Remember?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
oh,
why
yeah.
did I think it was just me, you, and my dad? Did we
No.
drive 2 cars? We were in 1 car?
No, just one car. We just all drove the
Okay,
Taycan.
I'm
We
sorry.
all drove in the Taycan.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
so that he gets the shot of him like walking out and pulling out. So then we've got that. We're like, okay, we're good. But the one shot of the script, we needed to literally be walking into a Porsche dealership. And so
Right.
we pull up to the front. Kostas has the Ronin out. He's getting ready. Chase is outside. I'm in the car. I'm the getaway driver.
Yep.
I'm ready to rip,
Kostas
dude.
gets like one shot at this.
You get one good shot at this. He does his
Manual
thing,
focus
dude.
lens, too.
Manual focus lens.
And we told my dad, like, don't really walk in, like, walk up to the door.
Oh yeah, he got
My dad just, like, walks straight into the
Yeah.
dealership.
He goes,
Hey.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Turns around, dude. They are all
Looking at us,
We look at the
filming us.
Yeah, filming us from the damn windows, and we just skirted out of
Yeah,
there.
they were not happy either.
They were not
But so then
stoked.
we somehow again we got all of our shots, dude.
Dude, killed the shot.
The
Dude, and
Taycan-
that shot is so good.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like one of the better shots in the
If
video.
I showed you that shot, you'd think we directed the biggest commercial
right,
for,
and we like rented out the
Porsche.
Porsche.
for
dealership.
Porsche.
Yeah, so
Ran
that
out the lot.
and then because the hotel shots worked, we dealt with some rain, but we like had pockets of sun that we were able to shoot what
5
we
minutes.
needed. So it was like kind of cohesive because we shot some rainy shit, but then it all looked different once it was fucking sunny.
But then all the shots that we, like, the B-roll around Florida, we were just, like, driving around trying to find cool places. Normally, you would scout that beforehand.
Yeah, I remember like flying the drone. We just like found a road that looked kind of interesting.
It was hard because of the scouting thing made everything so hard, and then a lot of the communities were gated that had the cool
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So then it was like, oh my God. And we hitched home. We hitched home to LA. Another $400 Uber to the airport with
Right.
all of our heavy shit.
So then we come back to LA and we have what, like 2 or 3 shoot days here, I think.
Something like that. We get
Yeah.
to shoot at the Grove.
We shot at the Grove, which
Which
is
is
really
iconic.
cool. because we actually like had the Grove locked down. We actually
Like
got
an
to shoot.
entire section of the parking garage locked down.
Yeah, that was cool.
Which made it was so
That
sick.
rocked, actually. That
That was
totally
like
rocked.
one of the cooler things.
that one's pretty smooth too. Like nothing weird happened. We just like got the shots we needed.
Well, people kept trying to drive through our
oh,
set.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was annoying.
And we had to direct traffic to start going
Right.
the other way.
We had to have Keon start directing traffic.
Right.
Keon was in the video.
We had John. John was helping us too.
Yeah.
Keon was in the video at the Grove. He's like the student again, saved money on fucking talent, dude.
See, Keon was our talent.
He was kind of good too.
He was
Remember
a great
when we
actor.
realized that he could like kind of chef on camera.
He had the acting chops for sure.
Because earlier in Austin and Florida, Keon, he was not pulling his weight, dude. He was just moving a little slow. You remember? And he would just kind of be like, dung, da, dung, da, dung. And we're like, what are you doing? And then he really shaped up after that.
Dude, we had to get Keon not loving the early riser stuff.
No, not early.
But we had to
riser.
get Keon up at 7. He was like,
Yeah, did not love it.
the Gen Zs aren't fan. I'm not a fan. I hate early rising, but
I don't like it either.
but
Honestly.
it was funny. It was so funny. It was so helpful though to have him because we had a whole nother set of hands and dude, we were short staffed. We
were
needed
short-staffed.
we needed Rocks to help us.
Yeah, we really did.
One of the things that we underestimated is the fact that we were dealing with electric cars. It's not like you could just go to a gas station and fill up. Like you have to figure out where to
Right.
actually charge the cars.
Bro, we came to this apartment building once we were in LA and all of these cars were dead after driving them around, getting all these rolling shots all day long. So I go down to the garage and I figure out that at our apartment building, you don't have to pay for the charge. At the time.
At the time.
And so
They figured him out.
They caught on to me. But I figure out that I have 3 cars outside that all need to be charged. So I set an alarm at 2 in the morning. I set an alarm at 4 a.m. I don't even know if you guys knew this. I set an alarm at 4 in the
I didn't
morning.
know this.
Then I get up at 7:30 and
To
plug
charge
in the,
different cars?
well, yeah, because bro, they take so damn long, and the
Right.
Tesla charger wouldn't work for the Polestar, so you can't go to a Tesla supercharger station. So I'm like, oh my god! So I'm getting down there, I'm like exhausted. We finally get all the cars charged, and it was just like everything that could have came our way
Yeah.
our way.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah, dude.
imagine we're batters. Curveball, slider,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
knuckleball,
dude. Yeah. And we're
slurve.
we're following them off and we're hitting singles. Dude.
Oh, dude, yeah, we're hitting. We're
But
hitting.
we did hit one home run in LA because the CEO of the company was like, all right, I know it doesn't make, I don't even think he said it doesn't make sense. I think we might have told him, hey, the shot doesn't make any sense. But he's like,
No. I don't even think that we told him that it doesn't make sense.
we just nodded and said
I
yes.
think we just said, yep, you're giving us $1 million.
Right.
And then after the call ended, we were like, I don't think that really makes sense.
So there's this whole anthemic video. He's like, the end should be just a ton of people running under the Venice sign in Venice, California, which is logistically a nightmare, right? Because there's cars that drive through there. There's people that are walking around. We also
tons of cars.
don't have money for talent. So a ton of people is tricky.
Don't have money for permits.
Don't have money for permits. We get like one shot at this. Basically, we were getting the shots in LA that we needed. Though we shot in that one garage. We had to do some fucking car Tetris to get them. We got the shots. The stair tubes. We had like a cool purple light because that was the company's color.
one of the best shots.
That shot, fuck, dude. And it wasn't planned
Yeah.
for, by the way. We just kind of sauced it up. Remember? Oh, dude, we got kind of nice. Once I put 2 stair tubes in my hands, we started getting some cool shots. You were filming it. I would just do it. I'm like, what if I did?
No, bro. And I remember getting there, and I've been to the garage before I go, and I plug some shit in. Shit's working fine. It's great. I'm like, okay, we're good. The day we showed up for the shoot,
Oh, yeah.
you know, a little mouse got in the wires and said, I'm gonna cut all these fucking wires. So I go to plug in our light. I'm like, oh, okay, that's not gonna work. So I go to every plug in the damn garage, none of them work. So I'm like, okay, I have V-mount batteries that we've rented, so we're gonna use these V-mounts. Yeah, the 600D runs through those
Burns
V-mounts
them.
in like 15 minutes. So we had these huge lights for some stuff, and then towards the end, I'm like, I feel like the power on this thing is just not hanging. And thank God we were done, because right when we were done, they all died. Everything
Yeah,
died. All
everything
the lights
died.
died, and it was like, oh my God, dude. So be prepared. Get a generator. Get some power. I mean, we had I went and bought so many extension cords for this. They're still in our
Right.
thing. I bought like hundreds of dollars of extension cords and power surges, all this shit. Well, it doesn't help if you can't fucking find an outlet.
And if your regular light breaks and you still have a stair tubes that are colorful, just think ethereal, dude. Think interesting. Think a dream. You're like, what could this look like if you didn't have normal light but you had purple lights, dude? And now maybe it's like a dreamy kind of sequence. You know, you gotta fucking solve problems on the fly. And that shot ended up being one of their favorite shots, dude. But anyways, circling back, so then we do that. We get this shot of our actor Sharif, again, saving money on talent, Sharif is like a college student, right? And we're doing a time lapse with you.
Sharif was a worker, and,
Right.
and he's over here like putting up a poster in Venice, and we had.
That was the scene I wrote. It was a good scene.
You did write that scene.
Yep,
It
yep.
was crucial for the whole
Yep.
thing. Greco's there. He's getting all set up, and
We had a pretty bootleg looking poster. Remember that?
Oh yeah, that's
And
not
did-
on me though.
and
I
wait,
wrote the scene. I didn't
and
make
then
the poster.
wasn't it like, could we not find a printer? Like, didn't we have
Yeah,
No,
printer
that
that's
was
problems?
the
why it
whole
looked
problem.
so bad, because I had to go to fucking
The
FedEx
day
and be
of.
like, yes, just try so many different types of prints. And again, no money. So I had to do the cheapest fucking print to
It
get
worked,
done
though.
in that day.
It totally read. But dude, God, there's so many things. But anyways, fucking
movie scene.
We shoot a time lapse, but it's like a C70 time lapse. So I like on the camera I was using, fucking pulled the shutter to 360 degrees, which is like a slower shutter. It looks cool for a time lapse because you get more motion blur with the sped up thing. Then we go to shoot this big fucking scene where we have the Venice sign. We've just called everyone we knew basically to come be our
We had
talent.
like 40 people.
yeah, we
there.
had a
enough.
good squad.
And the shot is we're just going to run under this Venice sign a few times and we're just going to hope for the fucking best and hope we don't get arrested. Basically was the thought. I remember going there and like we could get arrested.
100%.
Yeah.
I was expecting a fine.
We were yelling action, which was bold. You know, we should
I
have came
also-
up with a code word like cacao and then everyone ran, you know?
I loved the pre-run speech that we gave. We were huddled around. I feel like we were going to war.
We were at like the start of the crosswalk basically before we flooded the
Everyone's
fucking
like,
street.
what are we doing?
And we're like, all right, guys, when we start action, you just fucking run. We got this. We have like 1 to 2 shots of this. Anyway, so we do it. And my angle is kind of like the hero angle from the back, just pushing it with everyone.
yeah.
Didn't change the shutter speed back to 180 degrees. So it looks a little motion blurry if you look at it. Didn't even tell Kostas. I told Braden and he was like, I thought that looked a little soft. And I didn't tell Kostas because I didn't want anyone to know ever. And so if you all guys are listening, sorry. But it looks fine. It totally worked.
No, we
And we got the fucking shot
It looked
somehow,
fine.
dude.
And you got the shot. I don't know how we got the shot, and it looked.
The shot actually kind of worked too. It was kind of cool. He was kind of right.
It looked great. It was so funny.
Yeah. One problem that we ran into though,
one.
Yeah, one.
Right.
Another one. Part of the deliverables, right, is like the BTS stuff. So we have to interview the CEO and the people of the company, right, to make the videos. So, and we were, I think this was before the Venice shot, and we were like kind of like low on time. So the CEO is like, oh, we can shoot it, you know, at the hotel. There's this beautiful little like this balcony area type thing. It's like open to the public. There's no one here, whatever. It's great. People who don't do what we do don't really understand like logistical things. For example, an interview should always be shot inside, and you should always have like a locked off area to shoot an interview. I go to set up this interview and I'm like, oh, this is a problem. They were literally setting up for a party
Oh, right.
as I'm trying to shoot this interview, and we're trying to convince these people that like it's okay that we're shooting there. They're like, did you guys talk to the hotel? We're like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. And they have like plates and forks and knives and just all this clinking, and I'm like, this is gonna sound absolutely terrible. But you know, I still had a poker face. I was like, let's do it. We ended up recording it, and like Lav Mics kind of saved it.
Right.
But man, it was like not great.
No, and to top it off, Chase, Sharif, and I are gonna get a pickup shot of the drone whipping behind the car. Oh, right. So we got the FPV drone, and we're up in the Palisades.
The second rip at the
This is
drone for
so,
the shoot.
Yeah, the guy sent the drone back to me. It only had cracked propellers and a broken battery. It's completely fine. So I strap it back up, put it out for battle, and I tell Chase, I go, there's no wires on this road, right? And we both thought that we walked down the damn road. We walked pretty far down the road.
Right.
There wasn't wires in vicinity of the thing.
No.
You know, someone, you know, just struck a lightning bolt and put a wire down the middle of this road. And so I'm whipping, dude. I'm like, oh, good shot, good shot, good shot. Smack the lip, whoop out.
Yep.
Drone just, I'm looking and it's just tumbling in
And
circles.
it's like high and
Oh.
it's falling like weirdly slow because of how it's spinning so
Bro,
fast.
It ended up knocking off one of the whole blades. So it's still up there with 3 blades, and it's like I can't control it. I have no.
Yeah, you're trying. Don't
I'm
you send
trying.
it up?
I
at one point?
send it up, and it just goes.
And Braden and I are just watching this, like, oh god, oh
Yeah,
god.
and so Sharif and I are tracing. I'm like, oh my god, and then we look to our right.
and as the drone's
There's
fucking
a
slow,
whole damn fiesta on the
Yeah.
corner of the thing, dude. There's
Yeah.
so many people. I'm like, oh my god, dude, if this is gonna kill somebody,
right?
This could
Because it's just falling from the sky so fast
so
at
fast,
this point.
so
and we're
fast,
just watching it.
I'm like, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. And as soon as that happens, I see this car pull up, and I'm like, go.
It's like rounding the corner. Yeah.
Go. And he's just looking at us like, I'm like, go.
I honestly think us yelling at him like slowed him down.
100%.
He
Made
was
it
like
worse.
a little confused.
He was so confused. We're like, go, go, go. Drone comes down. If this was the car, it grazes the
it
back. Thank
just
God.
touches it.
Just gives it a light kiss on the butt. Smacks in the ground. Literally destroyed into 47 pieces.
The drone is shattered.
The drone was
Dude's car is fine. Okay, buddy.
completely fine. It had like a scratch on it. The guy that gets out of this car was just a reincarnation of like Giannis. I'm like,
Dude,
just the most jacked guy I've ever seen, dude.
He looked like Johnny Sins.
Johnny Sims?
Yes, he
Johnny
did.
Sins. Oh yeah, dude.
That's actually a great reference.
He looks
Jason.
just like him, dude. Homie's been a fucking
so
firefighter, a
jacked.
bodyguard, a doctor, a nurse. Dude, he's lived and he's ready to fuck us up, bro.
He got out of the car screaming. I go, I have great insurance. Don't beat us up.
Yeah.
And I'm like handing over my card.
He was scary.
Yeah, it was insane. Then he was trying to charge me like $6,000. There was literally a scratch on the back of the car.
Dude, like almost like on.
It was almost nothing.
It was almost nothing.
It was
and
crazy.
the car had scratches all over it. Like,
Oh yeah, it was just beaten to shit. And so then we ended up I had to give him my insurance. I had to pay $1,000 deductible. That was great. That also ate into some profits and
Right.
stuff. It was great. Yeah. We still had another city that you had to go to.
And you.
Oh yeah.
And you.
Kozas had to go to SF on a random weekend.
Which was fine.
You just went for the day,
Literally, yeah. Like flew
Got
out
on
in the
the flight
morning
for the
and
morning, yeah.
came back that same day.
and then you and Reef went to Chicago.
Chicago was chill. They rolled out the red carpet for us when we got to the Amex Hotel, and it was great. It was the easiest shoot day ever, except, again, dude, you got to scout so hard beforehand because you have to know where the outlets are, how much
Right.
lighting you need. And you should really have like images of the stuff beforehand and start to plug it into a software. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's a lighting software where you can pull in all the lights.
yeah,
you
yeah.
can see what it's going to do to your
Previs or
subject.
something like
yeah,
that?
it's,
Yeah.
you can see what it's going to do to your subject. And like, if you're getting, in different cities and different states, like you have to do that stuff because you don't want to leave it up to a chance and up to an assumption because the mother of all fuck ups is assumption.
Absolutely.
We also
dude.
didn't really scout even the spots in LA, and we didn't know really what like the garages looked like, and it's really hard to make a garage look sexy.
We did scout the fucking Colorado Center, and we nailed it. I scouted on my bike when I had my bike before it got stolen, and we knew exactly how that shit would line up, and it totally worked. Scouting is so important. So anyways, then we get all the shots. And we fucking edit an 8-minute movie that no one wanted.
But there was almost going to be a whole other scene.
Right. There was a whole other
It
thing
had no connection.
that had no connection.
Basically, we were going to shoot with an NFL player in New York because of some connection.
For like an hour, and Brady and
Yeah.
I were like, well, fucking red eye it, dude.
Red eye at midnight.
For 10 grand, we'll red eye it so fast.
They were like, yeah, he can only do it tomorrow if we can do it. So you guys got to get there, and
Yeah.
we'll pay you an extra $10,000 to do it.
And we were so down, but then it fell through for some reason. I would have done it too.
I would have done it too. It was literally like get there at 6 a.m. New York time and come back and land in LA at like 8. It was so weird. Like 8
It
a.m.
would have
LA
been hell,
time.
dude.
was
It literally would have
crazy.
been hell. But yeah, we got all of our shots.
We
dude.
turned around an 8-minute video,
Yeah.
and then we got it down to a minute and a
We got
half.
it. And
They loved it.
They liked it so much that they gave us a tip. They all gave us a tip.
Never heard of that before.
Even Sharif got a tip.
Bro,
but
they
it
turned
didn't
around
cash.
the Starbucks thing and they said 15, 20, or 25%.
Yeah.
And they gave
Yep.
us-
They gave us a tip, which has never happened before. So all this shit happened. As long as you get the fucking shots and you put a lot of effort into the edit, you can still make something great. And we did. I pride us on like we gave them some gold in the end. You know, like we did make a really good video that we put a lot of fucking work into.
It was a great video with just so much learning experience. And I can't stress to you guys enough though, like bring on talented friends to help you with
Right.
the stuff. Like if I wouldn't, it's not possible to do something like this by yourself. And like really having every one of you that's so good at your thing make stuff like this even possible. Like when you look at that video, it's like, oh, that crazy Ronin shot, Coach just ripped on that. Oh, Reef lit this shot. Reef set us up for this. Chase
Yeah.
had all of these shots like, printed out for us and ready to rock and roll. And it's like, that is what made that thing so fun. And like, man, I giggle.
It's funny thinking
memorize-
about it because I remembered some traumas that we had that I forgot about that was less fun. But God, I think of it in such a fond light. Like it was fucking chaos, but it was so
Yeah.
fun, dude. It was so funny.
Yeah, and just so many variables that you come to after, and you're like, oh, we could have done that better. And like, I remember what Reef and I did after the shoots. I would go to his crib and we would write down like what
Yeah.
went super well, what went horribly. And I text you guys this in
Yeah.
the group chat, and we're all sending it. And so then we printed it out and we were looking at it. It's like, okay, how can every time you shoot something, you should do something like that, and look at your process, because then you can make the next thing so much better, and you're refining all the mistakes, and then they don't happen again.
Right.
I think it's okay to make a mistake once.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But you shouldn't make it again.
Exactly.
And just make a note of that.
So yeah.
Especially in the world of production where mistakes are bound to happen every single time.
Yeah.
There's never been a perfect shoot.
You just got to be fucking flexible. But yeah, we delivered all of our deliverables. We made a good video we're proud of. And that was it. And now we have an epilogue for when they had an awesome wrap dinner that they planned for us. They were nicest clients ever, dude.
Best.
They fucking rock.
Best clients ever.
It's at a nice fucking hard as fuck to get into a restaurant in LA. And they have a reservation for, what is it, 8 of us, I think, total?
8.
Definitely 8.
And Braden's like, cool, 8. But I'm going to bring my girlfriend and Keon and the other guy that helped Johnny. That's his name,
Yeah,
right?
John.
I love John. And we were like, Coach and I were like, dude, I don't know if that's going to work, though.
This didn't even cross my brain.
I was like, I've heard of adding an extra seat.
Yeah.
Going from 8 to 9. Going from 8 to double digits to 11, dude.
Right.
Pushing it a little bit.
Wait, they didn't know who we were?
Yeah, that's what I tried to say. I was like, you guys.
And Brandon
What's the
even
confusion
asked
here?
beforehand. He was like, nah, just come. It'll be good.
Right. So we get to the door. They were like...
Denied.
And we were just like... I'm still going to dinner,
Yeah.
dude.
And so then I gave her we gave them a little
production
we gave
card.
them the production card, and they
Your
went
Amex.
they went to
They went to, like, Sushi
instead
Ruka,
of
right?
no, dude, instead of Chipotle or something, they went to fucking Boa Steakhouse.
Of course, dude.
Spent like $400 at Boa Steakhouse between Keon,
That's
Chloe, and
funny,
John. I go,
dude.
what did you guys order? The tomahawk?
Right.
Like, holy shit.
Dude, been to Boa, easy to spend 400.
Oh, I bet.
Hey,
Just
that
what they
day
were.
was also me and Braden's birthday for our rap dinner.
It was-
right.
Sharif got lit.
Sharif
Dude.
did get lit.
Well, that was my birthday.
Sharif totally hit on one of the clients.
You know what? And I wouldn't trade it for the world. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, episode 87. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the 505 podcast. I'm going to go hit 400-foot bombs right now at the softball field, and we'll see you all next week. Peace.
Bye.
Later.